It started like any other day for Mia, a determined black woman with a sharp mind and a dream of owning her first car. Walking into the bustling dealership, she felt a mix of nerves and excitement. But that quickly turned to shock when the laughter started. A group of salesmen, lounging near the shiny new cars, exchanged smug glances and whispered jokes. One even muttered loud enough for her to hear, "She can't afford anything here." The humiliation stung, but Mia stayed calm, determined not to let their disrespect break her stride. As she tried to ask questions, they dismissed her, treating her like she didn't belong. It wasn't the first time she had faced this kind of treatment, but this felt different, more personal. Little did they know, the woman they underestimated was about to change everything. What Mia did next would leave everyone speechless. Mia walked out of the dealership with her head held high, but inside, the anger simmered. It wasn't just about the laughter or the insults, it was the assumption that she didn't belong, that she couldn't. Growing up, Mia had always been told to work twice as hard to prove herself, and this moment only fueled her determination. That night, she sat at her kitchen table, surrounded by notebooks and her laptop, researching everything about the dealership, its history, its ownership, and the community it served. She discovered the business wasn't doing as well as it seemed. Bad reviews, complaints about unfair treatment, and a dwindling customer base painted a different picture from the glossy showroom she'd walked into. A plan began forming in her mind. This wasn't just about buying a car anymore, it was about proving a point. But to pull it off, she would need to dig deeper and take a risk no one saw coming. Mia couldn't shake the memory of their laughter as she worked late into the night. She uncovered a troubling trend. The dealership's unfair practices weren't just a one-time issue. Countless reviews described similar stories: customers dismissed, overpriced deals targeting specific groups, and an air of arrogance from the staff. It was clear this wasn't just her battle, it was part of a bigger problem. The deeper she dug, the clearer her next step became. She began reaching out to the community, listening to their experiences, and slowly building connections. Among them was Mr. Jenkins, an elderly mechanic who had worked at the dealership years ago before being let go unfairly. His stories revealed just how deep the disrespect ran, and Mia realized the dealership's reputation had been crumbling for years. But Mia knew she needed more than just information to make an impact. She needed leverage, something that would shake them to their core. Weeks turned into months, and Mia's plan was in motion. She worked tirelessly, balancing her day job with secret meetings and calls. With Mr. Jenkins' help, she pieced together the dealership's internal issues: poor management, unhappy staff, and financial instability. She even connected with former employees who shared their stories, painting a picture of a business on the brink of collapse. But her biggest breakthrough came when she found out the dealership was up for sale. The owners were desperate to unload it, a detail they had kept hidden from the public. Mia knew this was her moment, but it wasn't going to be easy. She had managed to secure support from local investors who believed in her vision of fairness and community, but she still needed one final push. The tension hung in the air as she prepared to make her move. If this failed, she'd lose everything she'd worked for. But if it worked, it would change everything. Just as Mia was finalizing the paperwork to place her bid on the dealership, an unexpected obstacle emerged. Another buyer entered the picture, a wealthy investor with ties to the dealership's current owners. Rumors swirled that this buyer planned to maintain the toxic environment, ensuring the same culture of exclusion continued. It was a direct threat to everything Mia had worked for, and it felt personal, as if they caught wind of her plan and were trying to shut her out. The community that had rallied behind Mia began to feel the pressure too. Some of the investors she had lined up started hesitating, worried about going up against someone with deeper pockets. Mia found herself scrambling to reassure them, even as doubt crept in. But just when things seemed at their worst, Mr. Jenkins handed her a document, a hidden detail about the dealership's finances that could give her the leverage she desperately needed. With the critical document in hand, Mia realized it was her last chance to fight back. The papers revealed that the dealership had violated several local business regulations, something that could jeopardize the sale altogether if made public. Armed with this information, Mia scheduled a meeting with the current owners, confident but nervous about what might happen next. When she walked into the dealership's office, the tension was palpable. The wealthy investor sat smugly at the table, clearly underestimating her. But as Mia calmly laid out her findings, their expressions shifted. The violations weren't just a nuisance. They were a legal nightmare that could bring the dealership crashing down. She offered them a choice: sell to her and let her rebuild the business honestly, or face the fallout. After a tense pause, they agreed, but not without bitterness. As the keys were handed over, Mia felt a mix of triumph and disbelief. But the final twist came weeks later when she uncovered a series of forgotten customer files, revealing how many people had been wronged. She vowed to make it right, proving that her victory wasn't just about the dealership, it was about the community she now served. Mia transformed the dealership into something entirely new, a place where everyone was treated with respect, regardless of their background. She hired staff who believed in her vision, including Mr. Jenkins, who returned as a lead mechanic. Slowly, the business began to thrive. The same community that had been mistreated now felt welcome, and word spread quickly about the changes Mia had brought. As she stood outside the showroom one evening, watching families browse cars with smiles on their faces, Mia felt a deep sense of accomplishment. What started as a moment of humiliation had turned into an opportunity to create something better. The laughter she'd endured that day was now a distant memory, replaced by the sounds of a business full of life and purpose. Mia proved that strength and determination could turn adversity into success. Her story wasn't just about owning a dealership, it was about reclaiming dignity and inspiring others to do the same.